Okay. Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order for December 4th, and we'll start off with the land acknowledgement. Excuse me. So we would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that the town of Shelburne resides within the traditional territory and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, including the Ojibwe, Potawatomi, Chippewa, and the peoples of the Three Fires Confederacy. These traditional territories upon which we live, work, and play and learn are steeped in the rich indigenous history and traditions. It is with this statement that we declare to honor and respect the past and the present connection of indigenous peoples with this land, its waterways and resources. Okay, so we'll move to adoption of the agenda. Anybody got any changes they want to make to the agenda? No? Okay. So we'll go ahead with that. And any declarations of pecuniary interest?
Hold on, Linda. I think you need to have a motion for that.
Oh, sorry.
I'll move it.
Moved by Deb, seconded by Kyle. Did you put your hand up? Okay, all in favor? And that's carried. Okay, so do I ask it for any declarations of pecuniary interest? Anybody have any? No? Okay. Next item is item 4, adoption of the minutes of the Arts and Culture and Heritage meeting for October 2nd. So it's been a while since we had that, but does anybody have anything they want to question or comment on? If not, can I get somebody to move adoption of the minutes? Deb and Kyle? And all in favor? And that's carried. So item 5 is the general discussion about all the 3 quotes that we have. So did anybody want to start off with any comments about those 3 particular quotes? Kyle?
I might as well jump in since you mentioned it earlier before we even started the meeting. Just in case anybody does not understand the jargon of each of the quotes, just to clarify, material-wise, each of these quotes are quoted on the same material. This is all alu panel, just using different terminology. So we are comparing apples to apples.
So any comments?
We have any idea why there's such a discrepancy between 2 and 1?
Well, number 2 is less money than 1. But
No, but 2 of them are double the price of the 1.
I think they had 2 on there.
No, there's only one that's double the price. Deb, if you take a look at the one, I believe what you're talking about is the Live to Wrap.
Live to Wrap, yeah.
The thing that you got to look at in Live to Wrap is they've quoted 2 separate signs, one being 16 by 10, one being 16 by 8. Those wouldn't be going in together. Those are 2 separate prices.
And the reason they're doing that is because if you look on the wall, there's one panel that's smaller, and then the other panels are all the same size.
Kyle, do you know the difference? Like, and I know that they're saying, because one of them's 3,000 something, right?
That one is just a very expensive company by what I can see.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think so, yeah.
Basically, if this was coming in as a quote to my company, this really, really expensive one would instantly be thrown away and I'd be looking at the next 2.
So that's Streamside?
Yes.
Streamside I wouldn't even look at. That's just a personal thought, personal comment.
So
Yeah, so
16 by 10, so 16 by 18.
What's that, Debbie? Or Deb?
Well, Shelburne signs, they're quoting on a 16 by 10.
Right.
And Live to Wrap is basically a 16 by 18.
10 also.
What
But-
they've given two separate sizes. So they did quote a 16 by 10, which is the first one.
Oh, so they're not adding the two together,
no,
there,
no.
you have an either or,
Right,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Correct.
so if you're looking at those two, Shelburne Signs is 1667 and change, and Live to Wrap is 1350, which is the lesser of the two.
16 by 10, so 1350. So they're basically the same.
Same
There's
size.
$26 difference between the two of them.
Well, no,
No,
because
no.
the first one from Shelburne Signs also charges $100 for artwork, whereas Live to Wrap is going to give that to us.
Okay.
Anybody have any comments about who they would like to recommend?
I've seen Live to Wrap's work. I know the quality and I know how well they stand behind it. Shelburne Signs, I have no experience with. So just for that reason, I wouldn't recommend the Shelburne Signs, but I would recommend Live to Wrap based on the fact that price-wise, they're very, very comparable. And I have seen Live to Wrap's work.
Yeah. And I have to echo what you're saying, because I've had the same experience with my own stuff, as well as having done the other mural on the wall downtown.
Okay.
So, does anybody have any other comments they wanted to make? If not,
Sorry, what did Kyle recommend?
Live to Wrap,
Live to Wrap.
and I agree with that. Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept Live to Wrap's bid and go forward with them.
Okay, and seconder? Kyle? Oh, sorry.
I'll let Bella take that one.
I'll let Bella do that. Seconded by Bella.
Probably the only
Okay.
thing I understand right now.
Okay, all in favor?
Yeah.
And that's carried. Okay, that was quick. So the next thing is the review of button making machine quotes. Who has that information that they can talk about?
I think Lindsay did.
Okay,
Yeah,
Mm,
I've already said everything I'm gonna say, so just, yeah, it is what it is.
we haven't heard you.
She said it at the last meeting.
We talked about it
Oh.
at the last meeting quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
About the buttons?
It's all.
There was a
it's just-
request. There was a request at the last meeting to delay voting on the topic of button making
Okay.
until this meeting. So this is just a carry forward item. We just need a decision on whether the committee wants to purchase a button making machine or not. And if they do, what dollar amount you're giving towards purchase of this button
Do we
making
know how
machine.
much?
If you-
Can we move discussion of that until after we talk about some of the ideas that we've come up with for moving forward for 2025 and see whether it goes hand in hand maybe with some of those? Or
We can
does it
always
have to be
defer it to
done
the
in
next
this
week.
order?
We can defer it to the New Year and the next meeting that we have, if you want.
We
She
can't
wasn't
move- we
saying
can't-
refer to them. She was just saying
No, I'm
later
just-
in the meeting as
Oh,
part of
later
the
in the
Like after
discussion.
number
discussion,
6.
Okay,
as
okay.
part
Yeah.
of 6.2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that might be a good idea.
okay. Yeah, because all we have is the next item, which is the recommendation of the heritage plaque. That's only one more thing, and then we can go back
Well,
to,
and then new business, which, yeah.
that is new business.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's deal with that one then, with regards to the heritage plaque for 119 First Avenue West. What is everybody's comments regarding that? Nobody has anything to say?
Do we know the history of it?
Alice?
So just with the application, basically the resident is indicating that they discovered through the Heritage Shelburne brochure that the town has that their house is considered a heritage home. It's listed in the brochure. So they're like, oh, well, if it's listed in the brochure, I would like a plaque. That's basically the slight, not issue, but hiccup that we have is that the date in the brochure, and therefore the date that the applicant, the resident, has provided does not match what is on file with the town.
Okay, so
So
we
we're
should do
not
is
100%
until we-
certain.
yeah.
We're not 100% certain where the date, because I was not around when the brochure was created. I don't know where the research was done, where they got the information for the brochure. So I did ask the resident, do you have any more information on how that date came to be? And they did not. It would be best to ensure that if we're putting up a plaque, that it does have the correct year.
Right. So I would think maybe I don't know if we want the applicant to maybe go to the Dufferin County Museum and speak to them and get something clarified in writing.
Do we not have anything with regards to, I don't know how far our records go back, but the planning department when the structure was actually built? Like on
We
file?
can get
with-
that off land registry.
Yeah. Like I figured.
Not
we
far
might have
back,
something like that.
that early?
Into the 1800s?
I don't think the
Oh,
1800s
it's
would be
considered
showing there.
1800s.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yes,
look it
that-
up right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'd probably have to go to, I'm assuming then the archives at
Yeah.
the mod.
Yeah.
We did that, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? It was
Yeah, it was
kind
good.
of hard.
Not easy.
No, exactly. But you can do it. So there is a possibility. So yeah, I guess this might have to be deferred until we
Yeah.
can 100% confirm the year.
What is the address again? I'm just looking it up.
119 First Avenue West.
Okay.
Are you on like an
I'm
archive?
on I'm on Geo Warehouse.
Oh, cool.
That's what real estate agents use.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
119 First Avenue West. Property report. Ju- 1873.
Cool.
And what did we have?
1880, I think
brochure-
they said.
Says 1880, and that's where, we just want to confirm.
They
So
wrote on their
actual-
application, yeah, they wrote on the application 1880.
And that's what's listed in the town brochure where she got the information. But I don't know who created this brochure and where those who created it got the information.
But GL Warehouse, I would think would be pretty accurate.
Mhm.
I think maybe we should just send back a quick little email or something to them that says, with some of our research, we've come up with this number, but we would like you to confirm with Maud
Yeah,
in the archives, just to make sure that, we get the 100% correct number on your plaque, so we don't have to redo it in
yeah. 'Cause we want the wrong
a week or
information.
2 weeks or a month or whatever when we actually find the actual number.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. This is our first plaque in like a really long time. So
Oh, yeah. for the ages.
yeah, so that's awesome.
Okay, so I guess we solved that problem for now. So we can go
Well,
back
can I
to,
just
Oh.
have a clarification question,
Sure.
please, Linda?
Sure.
So can I just get clarification? Is the committee approving the plaque upon confirmation of the date? Or Do you want them to get the date and then come back to you
Yeah, I
and then
think-
make a decision?
Yeah, I think we should do it once we have the information.
Do you want to make them come back, or can we, I mean, we've got the information in the application, the
Well,
only
it's up to you,
That's
the committee,
yeah.
I'm not a dictator, so whatever you guys want to do.
I'm just thinking, just rather than have a whole bunch of red tape and bureaucracy, like most government things that we do,
Yeah,
we can expedite something for somebody. I mean, why wouldn't? It
Right?
we've got-
Because if you do a resolution that upon staff, upon the resident providing confirmation to staff of the date, the committee approves the plaque. Then it doesn't have to come back to the committee and unless there's a hiccup somewhere. But then
Right,
the
okay.
resident is aware that it's going to be approved. They'll be happy. They're going to get, what they're asking
Right.
for. They've already waited a month longer since we didn't have the meeting last month.
Right,
Right.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to be able to go back to the resident and say, yay, but
yeah,
yes,
Hey, but exactly, but at least there's the day. I mean,
Exactly.
other than yes, you can, but come back again. Let's not do
right.
that. Let's go.
Yeah.
Get
Right.
it done.
well, Alice,
Yeah.
the wording that you used, can we use that for the motion?
absolutely. I just need a mover and a seconder.
I'll
Yeah.
move that one.
Kyle moves that,
perfect.
who's gonna second that?
I can second it.
Okay, thanks Lindsay, seconded by Lindsay, all in favor,
Yes.
and that's approved. Okay,
Alice, you got the date that Deb threw out, right? 1870 something?
Yes, and Deb, can you
1873.
Deb, can you just send me a quick email giving the wording of where you got that information? I know you rattled it
I'll
off,
send you a screenshot of it.
but with the website information, like I think you said GL something.
no, Geo Warehouse.
Geo Warehouse is land registry.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Just so I can indicate that to the resident. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. Thanks, Deb.
Welcome.
Okay, anything else, brainstorming for activities, events for 2025? Are we gonna be doing anything about a budget?
Did we get our budget amount?
That was my other question I was gonna
Yeah.
ask.
So
Council passed.
technically, the budget bylaw is going to council on Monday night, but
Okay.
the amount that the committee requested is in the budget that is to be passed by council by bylaw on
And
Monday.
Can you remind me what the budget amount, what that we asked for was?
Was it 12?
12,000?
12 something? Oh, so many numbers.
And how much did we have on hand?
We still had quite a bit.
Okay,
We lost that, didn't we?
Yeah, because I think we didn't ask council to put it in like a reserve for us. So yeah, that I think will be gone now, and then the new amount is what we'll have to use.
and that's because we didn't have meetings in order to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, or we just didn't do it when we had the meeting, and probably because we asked for money anyways. So
Alice?
So, but with the decision tonight for Live to Wrap, like staff will reach out and we'll do our absolute best to get that deposit to them and the amount that they require to get going that from the 2024 budget, right? Like that is the goal, to
Right.
get as much of that from this budget as we still can, right? That was the same with the button making machine
Yeah, so
originally.
that's true. So
was-
so what do we still have?
Spend it
technically right now.
from the 2024 budget.
yes, exactly, Alice.
So should we just pay the whole thing in total? For the sign?
And
Or 90%?
I don't think we can.
Why not?
No.
Alice, there's probably something legally
It's 50%. 50% is what we can pay.
Okay,
because that's their required deposit.
And then if we decide tonight on a button making machine, that would come out of the 2024 budget? Okay.
Yes.
yeah, then if we did that tonight, then we'll, yeah, why don't we do that maybe as well?
Yeah.
All right, so do we have a motion for the first thing?
Sure.
Kyle?
Yep.
Seconded by Deb?
Actually, we're
Sorry,
talking about.
what is the motion?
button,
Sorry, I
button,
don't know what
the
a
button
button, but
To
we-
put button make machine the amount that we just talked about.
Oh, no, I wasn't putting my hand up for that.
Okay,
No, we're gonna talk about that after we talk about, new, like, ideas, brainstorming for, and see if it works with what we're planning on doing for, that's the impression I was under, is if the button machine works hand in hand with some of the plans for 2025.
yeah, the only problem is that this is December. So if we don't make
We
the,
can make a decision tonight, but we just need to know what everybody's got for ideas for
right,
going forward.
anybody got comments? Kyle?
Well, I mean, I'd still like to put forward the idea of the arts and brews in the park. So if we can put together a craft brew, whether it be moonshine, whether it be beer, whether it be wine, you've got all kinds of breweries in the area. So we can certainly invite a lot of the craft brewers from the area to an event, have them sponsor a table or whatever so that they can sell their wares. We had Ben come in and talk about different ways that we could do that so that we could raise funds to carry this forward. So eventually it will be self-sustaining. So that's one idea I would like to bring forward again, see if we could actually get it going. The only problem that we had this past year is we didn't have enough meetings where we actually sat together.
Right,
It takes a lot of planning to put an event like that on.
yeah, we actually have to start almost right away in the beginning of the year.
Agreed. The other idea that I had was, and this is going back, maybe I'm showing my age here, but going back to high school, it was always very much celebrated around Halloween, where you would have a very specific performance of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I've already talked to, many years ago, I talked to Dale of LP Productions, and they love the idea. They would love to put on the Rocky Horror Picture Show the way that it used to be done. So if anybody is unfamiliar with it, it's something to experience. I'm seeing Debbie was smiling and nodding. Obviously, Debbie has experienced this before.
Yep, been there.
It literally, it's not just watching the movie. You have actors within the theater that pretend to be part of the audience, and in certain parts of the movie jump up, participate, sing, dance, throw water, throw toast, throw fish. Like there's all kinds of things that go on that make it a spectacle, and it's absolutely off the wall, but thoroughly enjoyable. And I would love to see if maybe we can revitalize something like that if everybody was interested.
And if we did that at Grace Tipping Hall, we'd be throwing fish around?
I don't believe it was fish. I
I
think
don't know about that.
from the Muppet Show, but they took the idea for what it was. But it's throwing toast.
Yeah.
Toast.
Yeah, there's a few different things. Yeah, I saw it at the Circle Theater in Alliston, and we all dressed up, and it was definitely interesting. I would love to see it in Toronto, but Alliston was good.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. We have that as one. Any other ideas?
I'd like to see something where, you see these sip and paints. I would like to see something with the younger, like the public school kids, and maybe having high school kids run it for them.
We could possibly
What? I
talk
didn't-
to
I missed
Streets
that.
Hub about helping out with that or planning that, maybe.
Yep.
Get
That
get
could
a
be
couple
cool.
of different generations going, and that's where I was thinking with the button machines, maybe we could do something with the paintings that the kids come up with. We could actually make buttons with their painting on it for them.
Yeah, that would be neat.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like something like that too. I was also thinking of something similar to that in JD Park. Just to get people again out into obviously weather permitting, right? But something similar to that nature. Or even if it's an art show with local artists in JD Park, where people can come, they can see what the local artists are offering with, them sort of having a small booth or a table. And, it's called, basically like art show or art in the park or something of that nature. We could do something fun, and even during something like that, we could run an auction, for some of the local artists' work. And just have fun with it, in that case where it's just like, yeah, you bid $1 or $5 or whatever. And we have someone, we have lots of auctioneers around, so it's possible we could get one of them to volunteer and come out. And then that would kind of be fun, and again, if we did it something with the younger kids, it could be fun for the younger kids to vote or to bid on stuff too, right? So that could be something that we do as well. The heritage aspect of that would be the auctions, being in a rural urban setting. We have tons of auctions all the time, all around us. And, the arts and culture part of that would also be, the art itself. So it kind of ties in as well. Again, with the button thing, I was just thinking, Friday nights in the park, where we have those, 5 or 6 different Friday nights over the summer. We have some vendors and things like that, some face painting and so there was a caricature artist one year. I was thinking that it would be neat maybe to have a table there or like some kind of a booth with regards to the Heritage Committee. One of us or whatever can man it. We can offer the buttons for the kids as they come and they, listen to the music and eat and have their face painted. And then at that point, we can have our brochures ready for, the Heritage Walk, the back lanes, things of that nature. So people can grab the brochure and they can learn a little bit more about the committee and what we are hopefully trying to do. So that way we can, get our name out there a little bit more. That's where we would have the keychains, for example, for people to, potentially take a keychain with them. Would be, just sort of, because it's not always just an event that we're putting on, but sometimes it's an event that we can be part of. Right. And so same thing with the fall fair, right? Have a booth at the fall fair, be there, even if it's just one day, it's not both of the days. And it's just sort of an information kind of booth, but then you have that possibility for an activity, right? To rope people kind of in and be like, hey, have you heard about the Heritage Committee, or the Heritage Arts and Culture Committee, and come and make a button, that sort of thing. And then that brings the kids in, which brings the parents in, and we can tell them about, who we are and hopefully what we're looking to do. Maybe get a few more members, or even ideas, right? Because sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, what I'd love to see this, and this. And then that allows us to be like, oh, I never thought of that before. Yeah, those are great ideas, right? And we can bring those ideas back to the committee and hopefully implement something or whatever, from, the very community itself. So, yeah, those were always kind of my ideas. And, just again, not always having to be us throwing an event, but having us be part of an event.
The other thing I'm thinking is that, like with the brews and whatever, and doing it in conjunction with art, and if we tried to merge a couple of events together, so that maybe somebody's not specifically coming for the art show, but they might be coming for the brews thing, and that they get to tie a few things. It might take a little more effort, but it probably doesn't take as much effort as doing 2 different events or 3 different events.
Yep.
You're going to get a lot more variety of people coming too.
Yeah. That maybe you get people that fall over into another category by accident.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why we were looking at arts and brews. So it wasn't just the small craft brews. It was also to have local artists showing their wares and doing the art. Absolutely 100%. I agree with you 1,000%.
Good idea.
We try and throw out 4 or 5 or 6 different ideas and nothing ends up getting done. Whereas if we do one big event or 2 big events, it's more likely to actually happen.
I think it has more impact that way.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, any more discussion
Oh,
on it?
Alice has something to say.
Oh, okay.
Just one of the things that was mentioned at the last one, but I'm not hearing tonight, so I'm not sure if it's still wanting or it's just being forgotten, not trying to butt in, but there was discussion about doing movies in Grace Tippling Hall or in the parks. I didn't know if that still wanted to be on your radar, so if it's not, just ignore me.
Kyle?
Right.
If I remember right, the cost for the rental of the movies or the rights in order to show the movies, if we were to do it multiple times, gets very cost prohibitive very quickly. If we've only got, go ahead, Alice.
Sorry, it was meant to be a one show, like it would be one night this movie, and then like 2 months later, the discussion was a different movie. Trying to put like different movies around different, and in discussion with some of the staff, that is a more reasonable way to do it and is not overly expensive. It is feasible for us to be able to do that.
It is feasible, but I'm thinking marketing wise and trying to get the information out, I think that would be very tedious, personally.
You think what? Sorry?
Marketing wise and getting the information out that we're doing this would be very tedious, especially if we're doing one-offs. If it was something like Fridays in the park where it's for an extended period of time, it's a whole lot easier to market because you've got lead up time. If this is a one and done, and then 2 months later a one and done, people aren't going to know that it's there and then hear about it afterwards and complaints all over Facebook. To be honest with you, I think it's asking for a bite in the butt.
I think it depends too on how we market it, right? If we were to market it as almost like a Friday nights in the park, right? Where the initial advertisement you send out says, join us for 4 movies. You know what I mean? And then we give those dates right off the bat when the movies are actually happening. And we have to decide ahead of time, these are the movies that we're going to actually see as well. Right. And then that way, when people are seeing the advertisement, they're like, oh, okay, I got this. We've got one movie starting, in June, then we've got another one in July, we've got another one in the fall, which could be the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Right. And so we loop them all sort of together as one giant advertisement initially, right, of course. And then as we get closer to the event themselves, we can throw out just individualized, advertisements to be like, hey, don't forget, this Friday, Grace Tippling Hall, such and such a movie, right? Free for all to attend or whatever we're doing. And, but initially it's giving that burst, I guess you could say, of information that says we're doing 4 movies. These are the dates, these are the times, and these are the movies. And then I think at that point, it might be retained just a little bit better.
How many people does Grace Tippling Hall hold?
Good question.
250, I think, is close to that.
150?
Yeah.
Like I usually go to your University Women's Club Monday night at the movies in Orangeville. And we usually see 2 to 3 theaters full for the 4 o'clock show or the 4:30 show. And then there's people that come to the 7 and the 9:30 show. So if you get good movies, you could easily fill the hall for one.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Do we have a big enough screen, Alice, in Grace Tippling Hall? I think it's pretty big, right?
Did you say screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just
I don't know the size of it. Again, it was just mentioned as a brainstorming thing, so I didn't do a lot of research into it. I just asked if it was feasible, and I was told it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe
sure
we find that out for next meeting, what the size of that, and then can have a further discussion about it.
Yeah, because I guess if there's an opportunity if this was something we were going to move forward with, we could rent maybe a bigger screen if we needed to. Again, cost is a factor, of course. Maybe we could purchase one because, that might be cheaper than renting one. Like I know the blow up screens can get pretty darn big on Amazon, and they're like $150. So I mean, something like that we could always look into as well if we find that the screen we currently have is not adequate to really get the experience that we're hoping for the people who are sitting in the back.
And the other thing you could do is like a dinner and a movie, like put it together as a package so you can have certain restaurants downtown participating. You have food at a certain time and then the movie starts at, later time in the evening.
Yep. Definitely.
Anybody got any other ideas or comments? If not,
No, I mean, I think that's pretty good so far. I think what we
Yeah.
need to do is sort of decide now between now and I don't think we have a January meeting, right, Alice? Because it's like literally the 2nd of January. So I'm thinking it likely wouldn't happen in January unless we bump it towards the end or the middle.
That would be the committee's decision if you wanted to move it back a week, or I am working on January 2nd. I would just have to prepare the agenda to send out like December 23rd.
Right.
But if the
Yeah.
committee wants a meeting on January 2nd, or if the committee wants to change the date
maybe
to
middle of the month or
later.
something. Don't know, but I'm not sure. I will be here. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
Available the 2nd, I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, no, I kind of, I mean, I'll be working, I'll be here as well, but I think I've got 4 dogs that day, so at least maybe 5. So yeah, I think either we decide to forego it and just go for February, or yeah, before we leave tonight, we'll decide if we're going to just bump it a couple of weeks in January. Whatever the committee feels is best. I have no opinion either way. I'm fine either way. I just think what we need to do is really decide on 2, really good events that we think are going to be great. And that way, when we come back in February, we can say, okay, yes, these are the ones we want to do. And then we can start planning, because if we don't start planning by March, we might as well forget it. Yeah. It'll be another year of like, oh, geez, it's already passed. It's already crept up on us, right?
Right.
We really have to start planning something in March.
Before that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
March is a bit too late.
Mhm.
Why don't
Well, if we
we
don't have
schedule a
anything in
meeting for January 8th or 9th, whatever? And it can be a short one and just for a planning meeting.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
so.
deciding on the activities that we're going to do for 2025, like making sure that we vote on them, and then we can start sort of planning.
Sorry, is there anything else to vote for? So sorry.
Nope.
No, I'm so sorry, Lindsay.
No, it's not a big deal. No, don't worry. We're just saying we're not sure if we're like, I think we should have a January meeting. Like
No, I think Bella's talking about
think
maybe
so,
not
because if
being here.
yeah, like if we wait till March to start planning stuff, I think we're gonna be behind the 8 ball already.
I
think-
agree with you. I agree with you, and I just have to go.
Okay, so before you go, Bella, let's just see if
Yeah.
we can, because I think we need to make a motion and vote on this. If we could, I'd move that we set a meeting for the 9th. The 8th is going to be really tight for me, so that would be a Thursday. If that works for everybody. Oh, Alice is saying no, can't do it on a Thursday.
Probably due to another committee.
I have other committees on Thursday
Yeah.
nights.
Okay,
What about the 15th?
15th would work for
What
me.
day is that?
That's
It's a Wednesday.
Another
Okay.
Wednesday.
That's
Yeah, I'm
fine.
sure that'll be fine. I'll figure out my schedule to make
Yeah,
sure.
that's good.
I'll make the motion to put that one on for January.
Okay.
Perfect.
Moved by Kyle, seconded by Bella. All in favor? That's carried.
Yes.
And do we have
Could
anything
I
else?
make a motion that we do the button machine
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
for using it for one of the
Whatever it is.
events, if not more,
Yeah.
in the new year?
Can I get a seconder for
Put a
that?
budget on that one, if I remember right. We were looking at about $300, was it, Lindsay?
I'm trying to remember now. I think the better one that didn't come from Amazon, I think it was a bit higher. Like I feel like I want to say it was like between 6 and 8.
Thanks.
Honestly,
It
okay, if I-
came with a lot of stuff though, like it came with a lot of
yeah,
buttons.
but it was
and stuff
also
already.
size-wise was different as well. So
Yes.
if we could, personally, I'd like to restrict the cost to about $500. Oh, Alice has got something.
Sorry, I just pulled up the one that we were looking at before, and it was a 1.5-inch standard button was the one that from the other company. And I think there was some discussion that 1.5 might be too small for kids
Yeah.
trying to design. So there was a 2.25-inch, and that kit started, hang on, give me 1 second.
It started at 175.
No, this one is with 1,000 pieces. Sorry, 500 pieces, $598.
Oh, there we go.
That's
Okay,
yeah.
I'll put a motion forward that we order that one.
perfect.
Second it.
All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Great. So is that all we have at this point? Anything else that we want to talk about, or are we done for the evening before we adjourn?
The only question I have is on the 15th, are we looking at the same time of 6:45?
Yeah, probably.
Is that okay with everybody?
I will do my best as usual.
Okay. All right, can I get a motion for adjournment?
Lindsay's got her hand up.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't see you. Moved by Lindsay, seconded by, who's got their hand up to second
I'll
it?
second it.
Deb, okay. All in favor? And that's carried.
Yes.
All right, well, have a good night. And we'll
Awesome.
have a good Christmas and New Year's.
Yep.
Yes.
Merry
Yeah,
Christmas,
too.
everybody.
See you next
Merry
year.
Christmas.